Welcome to Elton's Retirement Journey and Travel. My name is John, and we will be having a meeting of the Retiring Club. And I am now starting my fourth week of early retirement. I retired from E Trade from Morgan Stanley as a help desk agent. I was there for 6 years and 4 months, working here at the Service Center here in Alpharetta, Georgia, 10 miles up from where my home is. So I am now officially retired. I retired at 63 and 8 months, and I received my last paycheck from the firm on the 15th of October. And I've got enough cash to cover me the end of this month and do the things that I want to do. But what we're going to talk about is how I plan to finance this retirement, the remainder of this year, and the game plan for next year. So I want to welcome all my new subscribers. I picked up about maybe a dozen since I've retired, and that's been over 3 week periods. I want to welcome you to the club. And I'm not a financial advisor. However, working for a Wall Street investment firm, I did have access to some resources, um, information that was released that does not normally go to the public about economic situations, as well as what the company is doing, the direction, as well as in doing tech support. I would ask questions. Hey, what do you think about me doing this, or how about that? And some of the things that I'm learned, we're going to be sharing. So I have a presentation put together about how I plan to finance my retirement without touching Social Security for the next 40 months. So I got to go 40 months before I turn 67. And then I'll apply for Social Security. I have to wait a whole month. And I guess I will get it sometime in the spring of 2029. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this presentation so we can get this going. And I want to welcome all the new subscribers to my channel and this meeting of the Retiring Club. And we're going to be taking a look at replacing income after you leave your job. Okay. My name is John, host of the Retiring Club, and we're going to get right into it. Thank you. Okay, folks, we are back. One of the key elements of my retirement plan is replacing monthly income permanently. I need to have a source of income coming in on a monthly basis that will cover all expenses, just as if I had a job. And what I've done is I took a look at where I was at in 2020. We had that market downturn and COVID, everything closed. I was blessed to still have a job. I was able to save up a lot of money, but I just didn't have enough cash. So everything was in equities, just not enough cash to do anything with. So I decided that I would develop and compartmentalize my investments into the Federal Reserve of John. The Federal Reserve of John is where I'm going to have all my fixed income, where I'm going to be able to withdraw funds as I see fit to meet my obligations as a new retiree. First, we start off with the tax-free accounts, which is a high yield savings accounts. I keep those over at VO Bank. They're paying 4%. I have local bank that has cash in it, but that's not going to be a whole lot to do much with. Everything is in high yield. Those are tax-free accounts. The pre-tax accounts are IRA money markets accounts. The GOFXX is over at E-Trade. SPAAXX is Fidelity, and SWVXX is Charles Schwab. Now, when I turned 59 and a half in August of 2021, I didn't have any real cash out of these investments at all to withdraw on. So what I did was I looked at all these investments. I noticed that they were all at their all-time highs. I picked 10 investments and I said, let me pick a dollar amount that's going to allow me to accumulate a lot of cash, get my numbers up to a few $1,000s, and I'll sell those shares. I won't be depleting it that much because they're all at their all-time highs and they have large amounts of percentages. So I went ahead over at Fidelity. I sold from about 6 or 7 mutual funds, $600. And then over at the Charles Schwab, I had one that had so much gains in it that I sold $1,200 in shares. And that built up the money market accounts to a few $1,000s right off the bat. That was step one. Step two, the full service account with Morgan Stanley. I talked to my advisor and I told him what I wanted to do. He didn't like it. So you're taking money out of the market. You may never need this money, blah, blah, blah. I didn't like it. But I told him this is what I want to do. And he explained to me, we'll put you in here, the GOFXX, the capital gains. I will turn that off. So you don't want to invest in equities anymore. It will go into the sweep account and it will buy shares every month into this GOFXX, or every year as the sweep account receives its distributions from dividends, short-term and long-term capital gains. That was one of the most brilliant things I've had done and helped with. That helped me immediately, all by itself, start building up a money market account right at the same time the money markets, the short-term government notes were raising interest rates. They went way up, well over 5%. Um, Charles Schwab account, that just held an account that had large gains, and I sold 1,200. That account's holding up at right around $1,350 right now. So I have some cash reserves right off the bat as I go into retirement. The other thing that I did, so when we turned off the reinvestment of the capital gains, we sold some shares and put it in the money market over at Fidelity. The last thing we did, I had one Roth IRA that I opened in 2019. And so I'm on the 5 years of vesting period for that before you can do anything. So let's just contribute to it. So what I did was I picked investments MDFOX and PGKZX. I already had ROGSX, which is Royal Oak Technologies, which has been a real cash cow for me, and it was for a special purpose. So what I did was I opened up those Roth accounts and I alternated between what I was depositing. And I quickly, in the last half of 2021, I put 5 grand in those accounts. So right there, I started building up cash reserves. The tree represents the equities. It's a money tree. You shake it, and the money falls off the tree. You rake it up into the bag, and you put it into that bank right there, and you distribute it as it needs. This is building up my fixed income for when I have a down market, fixed income when I need to draw money on. The pre-tax is green because I'm pulling from there. Whatever the standard deduction is, as a single person, I'm bumping up almost to the top of that so that I can benefit and pay low taxes. The taxes for me should be 12%, $15,750. You will pay percentage of that. 12% of that would be your taxes, plus whatever taxes from the part-time job and interest. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll be able to handle that. I will be getting in comfortable with paying some taxes every year as I try and hustle and beat the tax man. Okay. So this is the basic structure. The Roth IRAs are all been vested. They all have 5 year rule. The FIDSX is the most recent. That is Fidelity's financial services, and it's hovering at about 5%. It did get up to 10, but over the rocky ride on the stock markets knocked away those gains. We just got to give that a little bit longer. I've only had it for let's see, about 7 months. I opened that account up over with Fidelity. But anyway, this is the basic concept or franchise that I've set up. The big equities, all those other mutual funds in the traditional IRAs, they are off by themselves as income. Now, if those investments yield enough in dividends and capital gains, then I won't touch any of these accounts. We'll leave them alone. That giant money tree will feed the cash box. The cash box is where I will be depositing money from the Federal Reserve of John to pay all my bills, or it will be considered bucket number one. So I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to come back. We're going to take a look at some of these Roth accounts so that you can get a better idea of how I see my retirement going. And I'll be right back with you. Again, you're John with John at the Retiring Club. Okay, if we take a look right here, I'm using the term vested, meaning that I have satisfied the 5-year rule for the Roth account. um, ROGSX. This is Royal Oak Technology. Now, I had just got the E Trade, and I was having a lunch with one of the guys that works at Stock Plan, and I was telling him about my investments, and he gave me this one. He suggested this one. The other one he gave me was a Vanguard ETF. I thought the price was too high, but I like this one here. This is as of Friday, so this is showing a 73.28%. And if you look down here, I opened it in 2019. I felt the price was too high, so I left that 5 grand in there. And look at that date, 2/27/2020. I purchased 203 shares, and I have a total gain of double it. So that was a 5,000, and it has doubled since then. And let's take a look down here. See if I can get rid of this. Come on now. All right. So I bought that about 3 weeks before the shutdown. The market was going down, so I got a really good deal. It did go down by about another dollar, but I had got into it. It was good that I did that because we all were in shock with this whole shutdown. So this is when I got started there. ROGSX. And when I started this account, I didn't really know about Ross. By me working at a financial institution, they kept sending out all these emails about products and this and that, and then there were resources. I read up on. I said I could use this. My goal was to open it with 5 grand at $1,000 a month, a year, as I continue to work this $1,000 and build this up for my Asian travel fund. And right now, it has surpassed that. One of the reasons why I've got a couple grand in the E Trade account um, is because I didn't need to buy it. I thought these shares are too high. I just said I'll leave it alone. That way, I'm not tempted to sell shares out of these investments. This is for the long haul. This is the money tree. So if we come down, I opened up MDFOX and GPGKZX, and these are the gains as of Friday. Now I took a bloodbath on this one in 2022. I kept buying shares and I bailed on it. And because VO Bank was paying 5% guaranteed, instead of sending 500 a month to this one, I did it for 2 years, 2021 and 2022. After that, I abandoned it, and this is where it stands. The technology fund right here is showing big 78, 7% and 29 there. And I'm going to show you the initial purchase prices. The whole portfolio is at 51% now. I started this thinking I needed something to cover my help with the payoff of the mortgage. I don't even feel that way now. I could spend this, but this is the MDFOX. This is the first purchase, and I got that at 729. It's showing a meager 11%. But I got one that's I purchased at $4.15 that has since doubled. And then this is the technology fund here. I got 90 shares. I bought that. It's showing 43% gain on that. I must have put 2 grand in there when I bought. See how that 871 matches over here? I put $2,000 in here when I bought that. So that 2 grand, that's the gains I'm making. So this is an example of how you can compartmentalize. These reinvestment capital gains are turned on. This is the last money you touch in your retirement account. So I just want to give you a little idea how I set things up. It may be something that you want to talk with your financial planner or think about trying it on your own. And again, I'm not an advisor, but I did have access to resources that most people don't have by me working at a Wall Street bank. E-Trade people, because I didn't have a lot, um, you have to have a certain amount under management before they'll give you advisory services. They showed me how to use marketing and research, and I went out and found these two funds on my own. And guy mentioned that to me having lunch, and I went with that one. And he was always saying, "Don't tell nobody I told you that." But anyway, this is John, and you are at the Retiring Club, and we are talking about building up our fixed income. In my case, the Federal Reserve of John, where I can pull some money. This will help with inflation, but it's susceptible to the market conditions. I've already been through a bloodbath on all three of these investments this year as well as in 2022. So, you know, we'll just wish for the best. But I'm good to go on here, and I hope you are too. My name is John. Go ahead and give me some likes. I'm going to link um, to this video a my budget so you can see how I have my budget set up. You'll see how I'm going to need to pull from these accounts to cover myself since I have a W-2. And you'll see how it'll piece together. And that is going to be called I Got Pink Slipped. Okay. And thanks for watching. And you guys have a great one. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.